The Silence of Bani Gala. In the green hills of Islamabad, perched above a city perpetually in flux, stood a home that watched over the capital like a lone sentinel, Bani Gala. The name evoked different images for different people: opulence, isolation, power. But for one man, it was something else. It was a fortress, a sanctuary, a crucible of pain and purpose. And in this home, amidst pine trees and the rustling leaves, lived a dog who knew the truth behind the walls. His name was Sheru, a towering German shepherd with a coat like burnished bronze, eyes like polished amber, and a soul too old for a creature his age. When Sheru arrived at Bani Gala, Imran Khan was no longer the poster boy of Pakistani cricket. The World Cup victory had long faded into nostalgia. His dreams of reform, justice, and revolution had earned more ridicule than reverence. Divorced, alone, politically stranded, he wandered the corridors of the house trying to find his footing. Sheru padded in silently, a gift from a friend who thought perhaps a dog could do what advisors could not. Khan was skeptical, but Sheru made no promises. He made no demands. He simply existed, and that was enough. Chapter 2. The Quiet Watchman. In the early days, Sheru would explore the house with the curiosity of a pup, but the dignity of a guardian. He would sniff every corner, learn every sound, and recognize the moods of the man he'd come to serve. When Imran would return from a political rally, often battered by criticism and failure, Sheru would wait by the front door, tail wagging slightly, eyes steady. No questions, no judgments, just presence. They developed a routine. Mornings began before dawn. Fajr prayers echoed through the house as the skies turned from black to cobalt. Imran would step out into the cold morning light, barefoot sometimes, lost in prayer or thought, and Sheru would follow, trotting beside him, always at his left side, head low but alert. Sheru watched the guards, watched the grounds, but most of all he watched his master, and he learned when to leave him alone, when to nuzzle his hand, when to rest his head on Imran's knee as he stared out into the mist. Bani Gala was never silent. The winds howled through the pine trees, the city lights flickered below, but in Imran's heart the real storm raged: uncertainty, isolation, exhaustion, and in those moments it was Sheru who anchored him. Chapter 3. A Nation's Burden. By 2013, Imran Khan's political movement was no longer a footnote. It was a force. PTI had surged ahead in the polls. The message of change was catching on, but so too were the enemies. Threats came in whispers and shouts. Warnings arrived in the form of anonymous calls, intercepted plans, and sleepless nights. The security around Bani Gala increased, but even with guards at every gate, Imran never felt truly safe, except when Sheru was with him. The German shepherd had grown into a formidable creature, muscular, broad-shouldered, with a gait that commanded attention. When strangers approached, Sheru would station himself between Imran and the unknown, and when friends overstayed their welcome, a single look from Sheru would remind them that the lion of Pakistan had his own lion at home. But Sheru was more than muscle. He was empathy incarnate. He sensed the weight Imran carried, of expectations, of past regrets, of future fears. One evening, after a particularly bitter speech in Parliament, Imran returned home and collapsed onto the garden bench. The stars were obscured by clouds and a cold wind cut through his coat. He didn't speak, didn't move, and Sheru simply climbed up beside him and laid his head in Imran's lap. For nearly an hour, they sat like that. "Sometimes," Imran finally whispered, "I wonder if I'm trying to fix something that doesn't want to be fixed." Sheru didn't respond. He didn't need to. Chapter 4. The Siege of 2014. The 2014 Azadi March, the container protests, civil disobedience at its peak. Islamabad turned into a war zone, streets choked with people. Helicopters hovered, news anchors screamed into cameras, and there, at the center of it all, was Imran Khan, on a container, speaking of justice, democracy, and stolen dreams. For over 120 days he remained on that container. His health waned, his beard grew, his eyes sank deeper into his face, and yet he didn't falter. During brief respites, he would return to Bani Gala for a night's rest, and Sheru would be waiting. The first time Imran returned after a month away, Sheru ran to him and leaped, nearly knocking him over. He licked his master's hand, sniffed his clothes, and whined, low and long, as if to say, "Don't leave again." But Imran would. He had to. Still, each time he came back, Sheru was there, always. On one particular night, the protests had grown violent. Gunshots were fired near D Chowk. Imran was rushed back to Bani Gala under heavy guard. He was visibly shaken, exhausted, and for the first time in years, afraid. Sheru didn't bark, didn't wag his tail. He walked beside Imran into the house and didn't leave his side all night. He lay by the bed, eyes open, ears alert, and when dawn broke, Imran reached down and stroked his fur. "You're the only one who never questioned me," he said. Sheru nuzzled his hand. Chapter 5. Triumph and Time. In 2018, the impossible happened. Imran Khan became Prime Minister. Bani Gala exploded with celebrations. The house was filled with people, laughter, music. The air was electric. But Sheru, older now, his muzzle flecked with white, stayed at a distance, watching it all. He didn't understand the fuss. All he knew was that his master was smiling, and that was enough. When Imran returned from Parliament that night, still in shock from the oath he had taken, he stepped out onto the back veranda. Sheru was waiting. He dropped to one knee, hugged the dog tight, and whispered, "We did it, Sheru. You and me." The staff would later say it was the only time they saw the Prime Minister cry. Chapter 6. The Sunset Years. Sheru's legs began to fail him in late 2019. His runs became walks. His barks grew hoarse. But he still rose when Imran came home, still waited by the door, still sat beside the neem tree every morning, hoping for a glimpse of the man he had watched over for nearly a decade. One morning Imran returned from an international tour. He went straight to the garden. Sheru struggled to stand, but managed a few steps before collapsing beside him. Imran sat down, pulled the dog into his lap, and simply held him. "You've done enough, old friend. Rest now." Chapter 7. The Final Watch. Sheru passed away quietly under the neem tree he had claimed as his watchtower. Imran buried him there with his own hands. No cameras, no press, just a man and his dog. On the gravestone he had carved a single line: "Wafadari, khamoshi mein chupi taqat." Loyalty, the strength hidden in silence. Today, in the quietest corner of Bani Gala, a patch of earth holds more history than any book. The grass grows thick, the wind still whispers through the trees, and if you stand there long enough, you might hear the footsteps of a lion and the echo of the silent soldier who guarded him through every storm. Epilogue. A leader's reflection. In a rare private interview years later, a journalist asked Imran Khan, "What sustained you through the loneliest years?" He paused, glanced at the distant hills beyond his window, and said, "Faith and a dog named Sheru." The journalist laughed, thinking it a joke, but Imran didn't smile. He never asked why I did it, never doubted me, never betrayed me. In a world full of shifting loyalties, his never wavered. That's the kind of strength a man needs when he's trying to change a country. There was a silence. Then Imran said quietly, "Sheru never left my side, even when I was lost to myself." And in that moment, the world saw not the cricketer, not the politician, not the prime minister, but a man who knew that sometimes the strongest lions walk with silent shadows beside them, and that those shadows carry our dreams when we are too tired to carry them alone. If this tale moved you, if you felt the tension, the heartbreak, and the triumph, please support our channel by hitting the like button and subscribing. Your support means the world to us and helps us bring more thrilling, emotional, and inspiring stories your way. Leave a comment below and let us know what you think. Do you believe dogs have an extraordinary sixth sense? Share your thoughts and personal stories with us. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.